Church of Christ.
Peace and Justice Coalition. Peace and Justice Coalition.
Right behind that podium, we're going to record all of you. And I want you to know, Kevin's going to speak and then the rest of them will come. All of you. Everybody back here. All of you are going to have to say something. All of you. Yeah, all of you are going to come to speak. But I want you to know that we had a challenge before us during this last session of the General Assembly, which ended at midnight Thursday night. One of the challenges was, how are we going to stop Senate Bill 469, which would make me and you and anybody else who want to march and protest criminals. That's the bottom. Kevin Moran, many of our friends and allies from organized labor, and many of our surprisingly friends from the Tea Party movement got together and said, you know what, we're on the same page on this. We're coming to the Capitol and we're going to lobby and we're going to sit in the galleries and we're going to make sure that they don't bring that bill up on the House side. The bill had already passed the Senate now. It's over here on the House side. But sounding out, because of Kevin and all of those who work in the movement with him, sitting up in that gallery, lobbying legislators in the hallway, anterooms, going into reception, and having that presence, the Speaker of the House, even though the bill is on the calendar now, the bill is on the calendar, he can call it anytime he wants to. 2 or 3 times, it popped up on the calendar, 2 or 3 times. The Speaker of the House refused to call that bill. You know why? Because the watch, the looking, the in-your-face kind of thing, like, don't do that. If you do it, we're going to jail. You're going to have to drag us out of here. We're going to jail. And we're going to sue. Now, Dr. Lara and I have made a commitment. 2 weeks ago, we said, if Senate Bill 469 passes, which would ban picketing and marching in certain areas, we are going to the nearest Waffle House. We're going to get to the door. We're going to block the door and make them call the police, and we're going to jail. And we're going to challenge the law in court. We made that commitment, Dr. Lara, and everybody else said we're going to do it too. Now, the reason we were going to the Waffle House, and I'm urging you, don't go to no Waffle Houses. Because the sponsor of Senate Bill 469 is the owner of the Waffle Houses in this region of the country. All right. Don Balfour from Snellville, Georgia, Gwinnett County. He introduced the bill. He's the chairman of the Rules Committee over in the Senate. Very welcoming. He introduced the bill. He ramrodded it out of the Senate, came to the House, but the Speaker of the House didn't call that bill because Kevin and all of our allies were on watch duty. On watch duty. Don't bring that bill up. I was going to the well and I was going to bring out one of my Martin Luther King, Jose Williams speeches. And I was just going to go crazy in the well, which I haven't done in a long time. But Kevin Moran is one of our brothers. He's one of our friends, one of our allies in the movement. And I just want him to have some words of greetings to you. And then we're going to hear from all the rest who came on that band. I know it's raining, accidents on 75, slow them down. I know it's horrible rain up there. Accidents, but they made their way on down 75, and they're here. Kevin?
Thank you, Tyrone. Our apologies for being late. Got beyond our control. I'm here representing a few organizations. One is the Georgia Peace and Justice Coalition. That is a Georgia group that is a coalition of various justice and peace groups around the state. I'm also representing my church, Oak Brook's Presbyterian Church. I'm also representing the Presbyterian Peace Fellowship as a board of directors member that is a national group of Presbyterians across the country. I did not have a choice. I have to be here at this time in this place with you. This issue is critical to our democracy.
Yes, right.
We are one people.
Amen.
Tyrone spoke of our success last Thursday night as the second hand hit midnight. With Tyrone's wise counsel and others, we didn't have a chance of stopping that bill. We had our lawyer contact numbers written on our arms to go to jail. We were up in the gallery, and they had, somebody did the count. There were 45 state police officers ready to get us whatever we did, whatever we were going to do. We didn't tell them. It never came down to that. As Tyrone said, the Speaker of the House of Georgia was intimidated by a number of union people, a number of Occupy Atlanta people. These young people I take my hat off to. They have a great heart and the guts to be out there. There were people from justice organizations all over the city that had been there all day, organized lobbying, and they knew we were planning a civil disobedience action to disrupt that legislative session, the last day. And things don't happen by mistake with the Republicans when the Speaker of the House is as powerful as he is. He chose not to bring that bill to the floor because it was fun watching, because the chair of the committee, the Industrial Relations Committee, you can tell who they had the relations with, was on the floor. And he was jumping around because it's getting to be 20 minutes to 12, and he's going. And the Speaker of the House chose to ignore him. That's right. Which he is the most arrogant individual, and the gentleman, I'm using the word lightly on that committee, are some of the most arrogant people I've seen, disrespecting those that came before them to testify. Again, working in coalition, together. Amen. Together, we had the women's group supporting us because we had supported them. On Monday, when the women circled the state capitol and kept walking around in a circle, we were with them. They were with us Thursday night. Women, labor, our friends from the Hispanic community, all together. They were afraid. And it's just little us. And the numbers weren't in the thousands, but they were enough to get their attention. Together we can do this.
Yes, sir. We can do
it. We have the moral high ground. I have the pleasure of attending the People's Agenda with Dr. Lowry and Tyrone and some of the finest people I've ever met. And I find my moral center there in the civil rights movement, in the historical context of having that foundation in being on the right side of the Lord, being consistent, and being above reproach. And that the wonderful people of the Equipment 10+2 that I've met are salt of the earth.
Amen.
You know.
Amen.
As Dr. Lowry says, chaplains of the common good.
Amen.
And it is my pleasure to be here today. It was important for us to bring more people to be educated in the issues. Because once you hear about these issues, you are furious. And we need to spread that word. Last time I brought a man from Pennsylvania who's one of the leaders in the Mennonite Church nationally. Came down. He was in town on some other business. I said, "You want to go down to Equipment Explained?" He said, "Sure." Came down. He was moved by that day here with you that the Mennonite Church nationally is behind Equipment 10+2. And he pushes me every 2 days with emails going, "Well, what have you done, Kev? What's going on now? What do I need to know?" And Tyrone keeps getting me information, and we're pushing this. I will be at a national meeting in New York the middle of April, and this will be on the agenda of that meeting of Presbyterians from across the country. I will do anything I possibly can to help him to be behind me in it's a privilege to be able to work with you.